Hello, everybody. We're back. It's Wednesday. Solo for the moment. This is Xander, unfamiliar voice kicking you off. Waiting on Mayor. Gonna get started without him. He'll join us mid show. It's week 9 college football preview prediction show. Very excited. Jam packed week. Another person got fired. Shocking. And more rumor mills swirling around the SEC. Can't wait to talk about. And, maybe this is a coincidence that Mayor is going to be joining us late, but also have to discuss his week. Whoa, buddy. As always, we kick off with the betting recap. I went 10-11, and Lock went 0-1. Season of Locks is 4-4. We say, oh, buddy, because Mayor went 2-9 last week, 0-1 on the lock. We went head to head against each other, and that was a no-brainer. His lock was South Carolina. That team, they fooled everyone last year. They fooled everyone, and glad my friend Alex is finally out on them. Just took him all his momentum to get off of those boys. So he will definitely, I'm sure, be less than thrilled, but willing, as always, to discuss that week. Worst teaser to date, we lost 5 of the 6 legs. Luckily, you only need to lose 1 leg to lose the bet, so that's good. If you're taking a optimistic approach, a little Olipop, little NA Olipop there. And quad box went 3 of 4. Would have been a nice way to kick off the day. Mayor stuck his neck out for South Carolina. We're not going to rub it in. That was the only leg that lost on the quad box. So we will move on. We didn't have a recap show, so we will recap everything that went on this past week just for a little bit here. Just for a little bit. And Billy Napier's out. Brian in Florida, elated. Finally gets to start the coaching search. You have to think it's going to be a big name, right? They're not going to go the G5 route. They're not going to go the promotion from within route. How could you promote anyone from within the staff in the last couple of years? Interesting. We've talked about it on this show. Now it's kind of seeming more and more likely that Lane Kiffin's going to get offered. Will he say yes? I know all of Florida Nation hopes he says yes. Some other rumors, Eli Drinkowitz from Missouri. You can't want that. That seems like similar to Napier move. Seems successful in Missouri for circumstances that he's come across. But is he going to build one of the biggest brands in the country? He seems more like a Columbia guy. Stays in Columbia, Missouri. Not sure his ass can handle the heat. So yeah, Napier out, Florida stinks. Writing was on the wall. Talk last week that it was a story reported. Boosters got together last week, basically saying they have the money. Get ready to make the next move to the AD. So we'll see. We'll finish out the season. Interim coach. Florida's interim coach is interim coach Billy Gonzalez taking over for Napier, wide receivers coach. Keeping those boys within should keep everyone on the team somewhat motivated. Now that we're back to the one transfer window, we will see. Man, it's getting ugly down in Florida because Florida State loses again, staying in the state. Mike Norvell, that writing's on the wall, but they say he's finishing out the season. Florida State is Wow. No words. I mean, Tommy Castellanos was top 3 Heisman week 3. They beat Alabama week 1, and now just absolutely reeling. Virginia broke this team double overtime, but it seemed like they were playing in sand, mud, out in farm. I brought it up jokingly. Mayor laughed at me. He did. I said, I like Stanford with the points. He said, oh, you got to be kidding, right? Well, little did he know he was about to go the coldest streak he's had in 3 years on the show, and everything he said was just a little off. You gotta ride those dogs you feel uncomfortable with. That's how you win in betting, especially college football. You gotta get uncomfortable. Traveling across the country is no easy feat. Florida State frauds, fraud alert. Staying in the state, Miami on Friday night loses. Got a bone to pick with this narrative. Miami losing on Friday night. They looked so bad. So bad. And they lost by 3. Like, what are we doing here? Carson Beck threw 4 interceptions, and they still had the ball with the chance to go down and win. Like, Louisville's a good team. Hats off. Jeff Brom, great coach, especially as an underdog against those big teams. But, like, are we really being serious that don't be fooled by this SEC bias? Please. Team isn't allowed a bad game, and they didn't even get their doors blown off. Everyone's saying it's the end of the world. I mean, Jesus. ACC needs a little bit more respect. They've got some contenders this year. Man, I would love an ACC SEC battle to really shut up some of these pretenders with numbers next to their names for no reason. Need that college football rankings to come out already. That's SEC top heavy AP poll is getting on my nerves. ESPN doesn't show any highlights from any other teams, whether that be media rights or narratives. I mean, not showing more than 1.5 minutes of Ohio State flexing their muscle of the best team in the country is questionable. Journalistic integrity out the window. Yeah, so Miami loses, dropped to 8 in the poll. I think they're going to be fine. That's a game you can just throw everything out, burn the tape, get back to basics. That defense still played well. Definitely kept them in the game. I mean, you just have to move on if you're back. You have to. Uh, even though SEC hating going on right now, got to give props to Oklahoma. Oklahoma didn't hear no bell. Mateer's hurt, lose to Texas. All of a sudden, this team is out of the playoff, according to pundits, not us. But they go in and completely dominate South Carolina. Basically a knockout punch. South Carolina's been beat down all season. I get it. Is it an impressive win? Yes, it's still an impressive win to go on the road in conference and beat down a team that really had no fighting chance. This Oklahoma defense is good enough to win games with the offense only scoring 20 points. I'm confident in that. Talk about it this week too. They can definitely hold Ole Miss this week. So Oklahoma look really good. Mateer every single day getting better. Every single day healing up. Once he's able to start throwing that ball, it's really going to open up possibility of moving on those legs again. And that's where they get really, really dangerous. Closing out the rest of the season, Oklahoma has no easy task. They get uh, Ole Miss this week, Tennessee next week, Bama the week after that, Missouri, LSU. Who we? Let's see. Bama, Tennessee on the road. The other three I mentioned at home. All of a sudden, Oklahoma wins out. Bama's now outside looking in. Is Bama's going to lose to LSU too? Getting on a tangent here. All right. Talked about Ohio State. Just scary good territory. I mean, Wisconsin's biggest play was a fake punt in their own territory. And the punter, nice little juke move to get to the first down marker. That was their biggest play. It was domination from start to finish. Carnell Tate emerging as wide receiver one in the country as Jeremiah Smith just hauls in a ho-hum 9 receptions this week. Oh, man, Julian Sayin with almost 400 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Continues to lead the league in passing completion and efficiency. Meanwhile, the defense is doing nothing but turning the ball over for the other team. Oh, but they're not playing anyone. Play who's on your schedule. Can't control Luke Fickell just demolishing the Wisconsin brand. You know, going to Camp Randall used to mean something. So that's why he put it on the schedule. It's not Ohio State's fault. Camp Randall is just completely fallen off. Speaking of falling off, Penn State has yet to hit rock bottom. As James Franklin appears on College Game Day to emphasize his commitment to coaching, Penn State takes the lead at Iowa. Kind of like Penn State. I was on them. Not on the card, but I was on Penn State. Man. Couldn't close it out. What do you expect? How do you keep going? Bye week this week, Ohio State and Indiana. At Ohio State, home for Indiana. They have the chance to do the funniest thing of all time. Go out and win both those games. Can you imagine? First ever 4-loss team in the college football playoff. They have 4 or 5, 4 losses. They're 3-4. Be the 2 best wins of any team in the country. Yeah. Unlikely to say the least, but things are going to get worse before they get better in Happy Valley. Brought this up to someone because we're going to talk about coaches a little bit more. Brian Kelly loses at Vanderbilt. Already a murmuring from the fan base. Pretty disgusting. I don't understand the Brian Kelly hate. He's abrasive at times. Been critical of him, and especially on the show. But guy gets results. I mean, he's your ultimate. I mean, he's got besides Ryan Day, the most wins. Ryan Day and Kirby Smart, and then Brian Kelly in the last 5-6 years. Hasn't lost more than 3 games. So they're going to chase him out of there. Just not a good fit. Well, how about this? Brian Kelly in Happy Valley. How about this? He's got the background of hard-nosed football at Notre Dame, keeping that defensive first mentality. Don't have to worry about, working the spread offense where you can't get everyone in there. Worry about your wide receivers last. That's the Penn State motto. Brian Kelly could easily do that. And he's had some Notre Dame quarterbacks come through there that are better than any Penn State quarterback. Right? Who are Notre Dame quarterbacks under Brian Kelly? Sean Kaiser, 1. Drew Pine, duh. No way. Tommy Reese, Ian Book. Brandon Wimbush. What a throwback. Everett Golson? No. Tommy Reese is good. Yeah. So let's just say that's a good fit. James Franklin doesn't seem like a SEC guy beyond Vanderbilt, right? What about Franklin to reset Wisconsin? Stays in the Big Ten. What do you feel about that? Franklin goes to Wisconsin, takes over that program, builds them just like Penn State. There's a program that would be happy with 9 wins, 10 wins, occasionally winning the big one. That's a program that'll build a statue of you if you do that. Tell you that much. So interesting to see where some of these coaches will land. Gruden commenting he's ready to go wherever he's needed. Man, I see him in Blacksburg. Just bringing the Gruden mentality. Yeah, outside of that, who's going to be next week if Norvell is basically getting the green light to go to the end of the season? Because we've had a coach fired in the last 5 weeks in a row. Should we start a side investigation? The media and fan base have a bit of a perversion for firing coaches. It's just like the one loss, 2 loss. Let's fire the coach. We look bad, fire the coach. Let's not look at the NIL or the construction of rosters now. They have no continuity. Coordinators jumping ship. I mean, come on. It's easy to blame the head coach. They're getting paid the most, I understand. Let's go. You hire him for a reason. If they're not calling the plays, you believe in their system and what they can build. Got to stop firing head coaches. It's too easy of a cop-out. Wasting too much money. All right. Anything else that we missed? I don't think so. I guess last thing, SEC has the past and present right at their doorstep. Vanderbilt beating LSU. Missouri beating Auburn in a game that Missouri would usually give away 100 times out of 100. Vandy sticking with Alabama on the road. It's time to let the new guard in. Oklahoma playing well. Best defense. And the Fade King has entered the studio. That's a perfect segue as we're about to end the wrap up. SEC is now, and let's welcome the Fade King to the show. Fade King.
The Fade King himself. What's up?
Wow. I didn't speak for you. So this is the perfect time, actually, just finishing the recap. You have the floor.
Well, hello, everyone. It's good to be back. I hope you guys didn't tail my college football picks from last week. As you know, they were atrocious. And I'm just here to apologize if you did tail any of the picks, unless they happen to be the 2 minuscule winners that I had. So, yeah, I wanted to come on here and say that. It was a bloodbath. It was very reminiscent of week 2 of the college football season, where, I didn't have any crazy bets. There was no 5-unit bomb. This was just consistent L after consistent L after consistent L. And just when I thought I was taking a step forward, I took about 4 steps back. So disappointed, sad, but gotta put my head up and just keep going.
Yeah, at one point on Saturday, I don't really keep track of the cards, like especially yours, just because I have all my picks already in my like app that tracks everything in the action app.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I kind of faded there. Yeah, and so I wasn't even aware of what was happening to you outside of I knew you had Duke and they shit the bed,
Hmm.
and I knew you had South Carolina. Obviously, I was on opposite sides of you there. Other than that, I didn't see your card until later in the night. I'm up in Columbus, and we're sitting down for dinner at a friend's house, and I'm looking at the scores at halftime, and I remember putting in the Oregon Rutgers game. You had Rutgers, and I see it's 42-3 at half, and all I could think about was, oh Mayor, oh no, and little did I know when I went in to correct the sheet after that. Ah, I'm sorry, brother. It's you just got to shake it off. Just I just said that for Miami football and Louisville game. You got to burn the tape and you got to get back to your basics because you know you're better than what you showed in that week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Rutgers pick was me being too cute. The West Virginia pick against UCF was me being too cute. Um, like you said, Duke, don't know what the hell that was from them against Georgia Tech. Just completely shit the bed. South Carolina was a bad bet. I did not realize that their offensive line is as bad as they are. And maybe I got to give some props to Oklahoma's defense as well, which I knew was good. I've been on Oklahoma all year, but I just expected a competitive performance, not like what I saw in that game. That was insane. Did you watch any of that game? That was
Watch,
insane.
yeah, watch the whole thing. Someone made us put it in the quad box.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Not to
Um,
mention, quad box went 3 for 4, and one of
oh no.
yep.
Oh no.
I didn't, and you know what? That's how good of a friend I am. Even though on my card I had Oklahoma, I in my quad box parlay bet
Oh,
I put South Carolina because you put your neck out there for it. And I said, maybe I'm not seeing the game right. So I'm in the quad box. I'm going to put Mayer's pick because it's his lock and it was his neck on the line. Get to the guillotine, buddy.
yeah, get to the guillotine is right. So yeah, it was bad, but we got to move forward. That's enough of that.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah. And I guess the last thing, my lock, I also got way too cute. I was on Vanderbilt on Monday. I mean, I was so confident in Vanderbilt and I just didn't put him as my lock. I go, I'm going to put UCLA team total over because there's a team that's really proved it every single game this season.
Hmm.
And I'm in the ultimate mode of all right, if we get overtime here, we can score in the first, 2-point conversion second. But that was the thing. At one point, they did end up scoring. At one point, I was arguing and I was doing the math. If they would have scored first, second, and 2-point conversion in the third, they still would have been 2 points short of the team total over.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was a brutal, brutal game that I ended up watching too much of. So yeah, let's burn those locks and let's move on. There's
Please.
a lot of stuff to talk about. Last recap started adding money line underdog parlays, and I'll have another one this week. Last one was 102-1. First two legs hit Arizona State and Central Michigan in our
Wow.
morning slate.
Wow.
And then USC really kept it close, and same with Arkansas for a while, and then it got ugly. You knew it was just kind of not close, but 4 plays, 101. Keep an eye out for those.
Yeah, pretty good parlay. Pretty good parlay.
So, should I just start? Should I start with Mac Messiah first, or should we just go into the slates?
Yeah, start with Mac Messiah.
Okay. All right. Mac Messiah week 9. I'll tell you what. If you don't check Twitter and you don't follow the cards, this is bad, Alex. You would have been 4-1. I got in my head in between us recording and me posting the card. I gave out Ohio minus 10.5. Changed it on the card. I gave out Akron and Ball State over 43.5. Changed it on the card.
Ooh.
Both resulted in losers on the card. Would have been 4-2, not 4-1. There were 6 games. Instead, we were 2-4. So that moves us to 11-10 on the season. I'm going to be better. So this week, I actually really like the slate this week. Of course you do. So we're going to get back to we've got kicking us off a classic Mac overplay. Thank God. Been seeing way too many unders. Ohio Eastern Michigan should be as classic of a Maction game, over 59.5. Whoa, the Green Boys, the Green versus Green, the Green Monsters.
Yep.
And then you got Bowling Green Kent, one of the uglier games of the slate. If Bowling Green Drew Pine is still hurt, we're taking the under. But for now, we're on Kent plus 7.5 while we wait for that news. Akron Buffalo. Buffalo needs. I'm not sure if anyone saw this. This is one of the biggest heartbreaks you'll ever see in college football. Were you following the Buffalo UMass game?
I saw that Buffalo was letting UMass hang around, and then they pulled it out at the end.
So, not just hang around, Alex. Buffalo has an interception with 57 seconds to go, and the super fan of UMass and like all of UMass Twitter, I know UMass Twitter, is tweeting out, finally, win number 1. Buffalo has 3 timeouts. UMass goes negative yards. Buffalo gets the ball back, 3 plays, score, get the 2-point conversion, win by 7. Not only like, and there was still like 17 seconds to spare. Oh man, so
That's tough.
And Buffalo, if you remember earlier in the season, needed the last drive to beat Kent as well. So we're going back to Akron this week, plus 9.5. This Buffalo team is not impressing anyone. They're playing too close with fire. That's way too many points to be laying. Really ugly game. Ball State, Northern Illinois, under 41.5. We go over 60, under 40. Gotta love this league so much. These teams just. Ball State won by 2 scores over Akron last week. They got outgained by 175 yards, 280 to 450 yards.
Wow.
Akron threw 3 interceptions. Yeah, just ugly stuff. Can't turn the ball over. Western Michigan, Miami. Miami's finding its right groove. Go Miami money line here. Short spread. Western Michigan, just not enough offense. I think DeQuan Finn finally finding a little groove. And then UMass, CMU. Ew. Under again. Under again. UMass heartbroken. Central Michigan can't really outscore. Can't really run teams out of the gym. So those are your Mac Messiah plays, and we'll be talking about that 13th Mac team later on in the show as they go out west. 5-0 goes west this week. If you're
Who's going west? I'm sorry.
Toledo goes
Toledo.
to Washington State this week.
Oh, interesting. A Washington State team that's playing a little bit better too.
Yeah, why don't you guess that spread?
Toledo minus 3.5.
Washington State minus 1.
Whoa.
Yeah. After they just lost by 2 to Virginia, number 18 team in the country, and 3 to Ole Miss, number 6 team in the country. You're telling me Toledo is a 1-point dog?
I think it's going to be tough for Washington State to go back home after those 2 games and just continue the mow.
That's true. How do you get up after competing in 2 ranked games and then come back to trash Lido?
Yeah, I trust your judgment on that team for sure. How they looking? They look pretty good, other than their weird losses every now and then. Yeah.
They were down 10-0 to Kent State midway through the first quarter. That 25.5 point spread got down to under 10 points, but they reeled off 45 unanswered. So I don't know. This defense adjusted. So adjusted to the competition. I just looked at this stat. Fifth best in the entire country. Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Ohio State, Texas, Toledo.
With
When it comes, just adjusted like expected points per play, like yards per play, like the entire summation of the advanced stats for defenses. Toledo's
oh
number 5, and then
oh
you just have
interesting.
this dog shit offense.
Do they still have any shot of making the playoff, or is that
No,
0%?
0. They have 3 losses.
Oh, I thought they only had 2. My mistake.
Yes, 3. Don't worry. Kind of better. Can't get my heart ripped out at the end of the year.
True.
All right, well, let's talk about the big boys, why don't we?
Yeah, let's talk about the big games in week number 9, and yeah, we'll start in the SEC where we have Ole Miss at Oklahoma. Oklahoma laying 5.5, over under 54.5, 11 a.m. Central ABC. I guess when I look at this game, I thought Ole Miss hung around and was pretty competitive with Georgia. I didn't get to watch the whole game, but I watched the first half, and Ole Miss looked really, really good on offense in that game. At least the part that I saw. And Oklahoma, very nice win against South Carolina. Good bounce back performance after they losing against Texas. I don't know. I guess gut was like, this feels a little high. What do you think?
I thought so as well, just because, me, I really, truly like this Oklahoma defense. It's like a generational type defense. Still worried about Mateer. I mean, he's getting better every single week. I just said it before you're getting on. But I mean, his stat line of 18 of 25 for 138 yards, didn't turn the ball over, but only 25 yards on the ground. That's not our guy. So he needs to be able to throw the ball so he can really start using those legs again, because clearly defenses are not scared of him being mobile. But yeah, I see him. You know how I see this game? I see an elite defense versus a very good offense when it comes to Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and then you reverse it. I see a good defense versus a right now average offense. And so, any just very basic fundamental capping of football is that defense travels, defense wins championships. So I like Oklahoma to cover this again and just be by far the most physical opponent that Ole Miss has seen and this young quarterback has seen. So I'm not afraid to lay those points again. I'd lean to the under as well.
Yeah, I was going to say probably lean to the under for me. But that's a good game. That's a good game to kick off our slate on Saturday. And another good game at 11 a.m. Central is South Florida, who I believe if the playoff started today would be the 12 seed. And they travel to Memphis, where South Florida is a 5.5 point favorite on the road. Over under astronomical 63.5. ESPN2. I don't know too much about Memphis other than I know that they've had a solid year, and I know that they beat Arkansas a few weeks back. And South Florida, I've had a chance to watch them a few times, and I gotta say I'm pretty impressed with South Florida. I think they're a legit good team. Now, am I calling them national championship contenders? No, but I think they're a legit good team. Their offense is explosive. You can tell they're just a team that has good chemistry and that they're winning. They're winning a lot of games. But I don't know if I could lay 5.5 on the road here. Kind of a tricky spot.
Yeah, that's a great point. Memphis coming off one of the most stunning losses of the season in a clear look ahead spot, or maybe just a dead cat bounce spot. Losing to UAB as a 21.5 point favorite is crazy.
That's
Crazy.
right. Chris Mortensen's son is the head
Yes.
coach.
Yes. R.I.P. Chris, a great ESPN talent growing up. Yeah, Dilfer's gone. They have nothing to lose. They have Mortensen's son in there. It's the year of the sun with Neuheisel and Mortensen, and these interim coaches are just bouncing back.
Sun God, Amon Ross having a good year for the Lions.
Sun God. Man, always know how to weasel back into the NFL. Whoa. Oh, Alex, see ya. Oh, no. We lost Alex. All right. Well, he goes, yeah, I mean, he's got some good points. I don't think 63.5 is quite enough. There we go. He's back.
Hello?
Alex? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what happened.
And I can't see you anymore.
Let me see if I can get that back going. Can you see me?
No.
Great. All right.
Are
I'm
you?
going to leave.
There you go. No, I see you.
Okay.
Okay, he's back. All right. Well, I kind of yeah, so what you need to know is that Memphis is back to like D'Angelo Williams days, just running the ball, run heavy. Number 1 in the country in run efficiency. A little worried about the like Byron Brown is like the leading rusher of USF. So, I mean, dude is a freak. But at the same time, I need a little bit more like continuity there in order to win on the road in a Memphis team that's going to be readjusted. I mean, this was about to be a top 20 matchup before Memphis had to go ruin it. So, dude, I like a complete shootout. Get to the 80s.
Whoa. Love it.
What do you think about do you see Todd Furman's comments that included USF?
No.
Yeah, he came out on Twitter on Monday. He's like I could pull it up, but I'll just blah blah blah. Let's be honest though, who would watch like if USF played Georgia Tech, there'd be significantly lower ratings in a playoff game that the TV execs wouldn't be happy about. Basically just like shitting on the idea of teams being able to earn their way in, but it's like first of all, I mean, standalone college football game, especially a playoff game, is going to do numbies.
Of course.
I mean, we'll get that out of the way. First round, too. That's not New Year's Day games. That's like third weekend in December. So absolutely nothing's going on. That's going to do numbies. I mean, what? Boise State play what? Notre Dame? Notre Dame always gets numbers, but still, that's like a weird matchup for anyone that's a non college football fan.
Yeah.
Same with SMU Penn State. Like, are you kidding me? But I mean, every single person that loves football is watching those games. Those are standalone primetime games or
Of course.
midday.
It's a playoff game. We're going to
Exactly.
tune in. Of course.
Yeah. Thought that was absurd. Just wanted to get your take on it.
Unfortunately, I think a lot of people feel that way. I mean, especially the greedy people who are higher ups. But for the good of the sport, we need the best teams, the most deserving teams, to make the playoff.
The thing crazy to me, though, that him including Georgia Tech is absolutely insane because Georgia Tech is in Atlanta. It's like downtown Atlanta.
Right.
So, but if they were a good football team, I mean, it's one of the biggest markets in the entire country.
Yeah.
And they can play out of the Mercedes-Benz Dome whenever.
Right.
Like, so that's including them is crazy. And then Tampa is also a massive market. It's a warm weather team. Like, yeah, just because they haven't been here. Can I just remind people that before Nick Saban came, and even the first couple of years of Nick Saban, Alabama was ass in those years, like from Bear Bryant to Nick Saban. Like Bear left.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, let's not pretend Alabama's been good for 150 years now.
Hell no.
Yeah, and before Michigan cheated, I mean,
Whoa.
before 2 years of cheating, I mean, 130 years of mediocrity.
Hey yo. I saw that on the X account.
Man, whoever's running the intern running our Twitters, it's been going crazy the last couple of days.
He's a crazy boy.
Yeah, I'll have a word with him. That's what
Good,
you get
good.
when you get free health or free help. All right, should we talk about the biggest game to us in our circle up next?
100%. Missouri at Vanderbilt. College game day is going to be in Nashville. Vandy, home favorite, 2.5, 51.5 is the total, 2:30 p.m. Central, ESPN. So a couple quick questions for you before diving into the game. A, where do you think the game day set is going to be?
Talking to Kurt about that last night. They get creative with it. They could get a section off part in part of the parking lot. They could go like over by where the practice like soccer fields are. I'm thinking that's where it's going to be. Like, you know where I'm talking about, like right off, that road that goes up to Hillsborough Village, like
Yes.
on that back side of campus.
Yep. I know.
Yeah,
I know it.
they might go there to that field, or they might just set it up in the middle of campus. Who knows?
I agree. It's going to be somewhere on campus. They're not going to like go on Broadway, right?
Oh no. Yeah, they'll be on campus for sure.
Yeah. And are you planning on going?
Gonna try to, absolutely. It's been a while since I've been to one. I mean, it's definitely a different feeling. I mean, versus being in college, but the fact that it's here in Nashville, Vanderbilt, versus like going to Ohio State one, I've been a few times. It's just more or less the novelty of it being here with how poor the football program's been for so many years.
For sure. It's so unique. It's so rare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, nice. Getting into the game itself. Oh my God. I mean, what a massive game for both schools. Playoff implication type game for both schools at the moment. I lean Vanderbilt. I mean, I don't know why I would go away from this wagon right now. This is a team that's just playing good ball. They're at home. Pavia continues to make plays. He did not turn the ball over last week in critical spots like he did against Alabama, which, essentially allowed Vandy to come away with a win in that game. I even thought LSU's touchdowns were kind of fluky
Big time.
on some of the big plays that they hit. Game definitely could have been more of a blowout than it was. And someone who had a ticket on Auburn plus 1.5 against Mizzou last week. I can't say I was overly impressed with Mizzou. Not to say that they were like dog shit, but I can't say I was overly impressed by them either. So I like Vanderbilt in this game.
Yeah, 8 explosive plays last week against LSU. Controlled the ball, which is what really matters when it comes to Vanderbilt football. 76 plays to LSU's 61 plays, so getting 15 more. But Vanderbilt had 9 drives, LSU had 8. So Vanderbilt stretching out those drives, and shortening the drives for LSU, really key into continuing, and that's how they should have beaten Alabama, but turned the ball over twice in the red zone. So good to see no turnovers there. Back at home, home environment was great. I'll say that just from watching on TV. So it's something just swagger around this team. That being said, a little concerned about the matchup here, Alex. And I'll tell you why. Vanderbilt's been playing teams that haven't been very good against the run or running the ball. Like LSU's more than dog. I mean, they're ass, dog shit, cheeks, anything you want to say at
Yeah,
running the ball. They're like the loser Lions when they had like that 70 game run of not a 100-yard rusher.
for sure.
Like that's what they are right now. Alabama can't really run the ball. And Missouri has stopped mobile quarterbacks the last few weeks in Jackson Arnold, in uh, Ty Simpson isn't like the most mobile, but who else? Lenore Sellers, Jalen Daniels. Early in the season, he was more attacked through the air, and that was more of a couple turnovers early that really got that Kansas defense ignited to make that game go kind of haywire, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little concerned. I'd say the one thing that sticks out is definitely the grit factor. It's like, do I trust my guy Diego Pavia, who we've been riding or dying with for 3 straight years, or do I trust Eli Drinkowitz? And Bo, as our resident Missouri guy, he calls him this, not us. Bo Pickbula.
Oh,
Oh, tough. Who do I trust? You got to trust Pavia. Saw the money line was minus 142. It was on at minus 130 last week. Prefer that because it was the same spread, minus 2.5. But yeah, Perbula, 10 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Not good. I think Clark Lee has this team in 15 sacks, too. They got to protect him. Ahmed Hardy has not looked the same the last couple of weeks once he's really gotten into SEC play. I think we have to go Vanderbilt.
I agree. If this game was at Missouri, I might look at it differently, but I got to go with the home team, with the home crowd and game day atmosphere.
And this is the beginning of the middle of the 3-game stretch we talked about to define this Vanderbilt season. Beating LSU was step 1, beating Missouri step 2. I just hope they don't look ahead to at Texas next week.
It would be shocking if they were, with everything that's going on this week. But
yeah, I think Clark Lee is too good of a coach to have his kids looking ahead.
I agree with you. And honestly, like, the one thing about Vanderbilt that I can say for certain is that they're not scared. Like, if they lose, it's going to be because of execution, not because they were timid and all weird and the stakes were too high or anything like that. They're not scared. They're coming to play ball.
Correct.
So, moving on to another 2:30 p.m. Central game. We got BYU traveling, undefeated BYU traveling to take on Iowa State. Iowa State, home team, laying 2.5 points. Over-under's 49.5. BYU with a very impressive win last week against Utah. I watched a lot of that game, and BYU just played better situational football. That's really what it came down to. Both teams had their moments of moving the ball, getting first downs, etc. But in the big money moments, the 4th and 1s, etc., BYU was the team that came out on top, and that really flipped the script of the game, to be honest. So this game is super interesting because BYU, yet again, just like last year, Burns, they're having a great year. They're undefeated, but they go into a tough environment against the Iowa State Cyclones in Iowa. This is going to be a tough game for BYU to win on the road in that type of environment against a Matt Campbell coached Iowa State team. So just off of those factors alone, my lean would be Iowa State minus 2.5. Take the home team with the home field atmosphere in this one. Can BYU really win again?
Yeah. It's really going to come down to health. We're getting some sharp money on Iowa State. Looks like Iowa State getting a kicker back finally. Not going to have to go for 2 and wacky. Getting their starting running back. Fortunately, a couple of the cornerback injuries were season-ending, so nothing you can do there. Hope to get just a little healthier in the secondary because, that was just an absolute killer. So BYU's ultra efficient, though, like you were talking about, just converting when they needed to. you look at this BYU team, stunning, to be honest. Departure of Jake Retzlaff, we were down on him, just wrote him off. Just a ho hum, another 7-0. Should have looked
Exactly.
into, just how much money they have, just low key money. You see, the Crumble Cookies CEO was in the locker room.
No.
Yeah, he was he covered the 50,000 fine for the field storming last week.
Hey, no big deal.
Yeah, not a big deal. But yeah, defensively and offensively, they've just been stout. So I'm very concerned. I like Iowa State coming off a second bye week, but BYU has been tested, Colorado and Utah, but the rest of their schedule, West Virginia, Arizona, ECU, Stanford, I don't know. This is a stay away from me big time. Maybe the under.
Sure. Been really impressed with BYU. I mean, how can you not? They've passed every single test on their schedule this year with freshman quarterback, and just got to give him props. This is going to be a tough game this week at Iowa State. That's tough, especially after such a big emotional rivalry win just the week before. And then Burns, we got Texas A&M at LSU. And the spread here is Texas A&M -2.5. Over-under is 47.5. ABC. And this game starts at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So my gut reaction looking at this game was the square gut reaction, which is LSU is dog shit. And LSU is not actual dog shit. I know they're like an average team. They're not terrible. So let me just take a step back there. I guess dog shit I guess dog shit relative to expectations coming into the year, because you and I both thought this team had national championship aspirations, and it hasn't been the defense that's let them down. It's been the offense that's let them down ultimately. If there was ever a time for LSU to step up at night, at home, Saturday night, and just have a nice win in the regular season, it would be this game right here. You got Texas A&M coming off a kind of a weird, wild road win at Arkansas. You kind of wonder if Texas A&M is due to slip up, due to maybe stumble. But I'll tell you, I don't think so personally. And the reason why is because even if Texas A&M turns the ball over 3 times, what's LSU going to do with it? Like maybe score 1 touchdown, but they're going to punt the ball right back to Texas A&M. This LSU team, I can't trust them, especially with Texas A&M's pass rush and ability to get after the quarterback with a statue back there in Nussmeier. So lean Texas A&M -2.5.
Yeah, interesting. Elko and Texas A&M 4-11-2 against the spread on the road. So with a number so small, you have to just wonder if just take LSU on the money line. Yeah, Brian Kelly's 21-2 straight up under the lights.
Wow.
So, yeah, two what an unstoppable force versus an immovable object. Yeah, I'm when I look at these stats, it's like you see a Texas A&M offense that got shut down by Auburn. That really has not been like Arkansas doesn't have a defense. So that shootout last week was not shocking.
Right.
But since the Notre Dame game, it's like it's been very tight for Texas A&M, and like not extending what we thought, and definitely not extending like the number 4 team in the country. Like, does it feel like they're the 4th best team in the country?
4th? That seems a
Yeah.
little high.
Well, that's the ranking.
Right.
So wins over Mississippi State, Florida, Auburn. It's like you're beating up on the little guys in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe time to come check out the big dog's yard. So
That's fair.
I'd take LSU, and maybe I just like pain because I do have an LSU future to be the number one seed. So
maybe you just like pain. That's an interesting game, though. Like, you bring up a lot of good points. Like, if Kelly, whatever you said he is, 21-2 under the lights, like, that's an insane record. That's a tough stat to fade.
yeah.
So we'll keep it rolling. Some other Week 9 games of note in the Big Ten. We're going to start there. We got Illinois going on the road to take on Washington. Spreading this game is Washington -4.5, over under 55.5, 2:30 p.m. Central. What do you think of this game, Illinois at Washington?
I think Ohio State broke Damon Williams. It didn't even look like the same guy out there versus Michigan this past week. He's butt cheeks. Not good. And I think that Illinois can survive against teams that don't air it out, like Ohio State and Indiana. So I think they're a very live dog here on the road. Kind of like Illinois to win outright in this game.
Okay. I would lean Illinois to cover the spread. I don't really know if Washington is 4.5 points better than Illinois, other than the home field advantage standpoint of things. But this is going to be a 12:30 local time kick. I like Illinois to hang around and possibly win. And as far as the over-under goes, I'd lean under 55.5. I think Washington has a pretty decent defense, and same with Illinois. So I'd lean under. SMU traveling to take on Wake Forest, and SMU is just a small 3.5 point road favorite. Over under in this game 54.5, 11 a.m. Central on the CW. Do you think SMU, Burns, wins 2 road games in a row in the ACC on the East Coast?
I don't know. I mean, that was unfortunate. And the dagger to Clemson due to an injury. Sucked. But yeah, that season's over. So RIP to Clemson. We'll pour one out for you.
RIP Clemmy.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a weird game. Like, both these teams are alive in the ACC championship. Crazy. Like, Wake Forest has been playing way ahead of their skis. And all of a sudden, SMU's 3-0 in the conference. Like, and then Wake Forest just can't afford another loss with 2 losses already, but definitely could be alive with 2 losses with a win over SMU. They've seemed to rise to the occasion against teams that they might be counted out against because their offensive stats are putrid. But when you look at the Georgia Tech game and the Wake game, or I'm sorry, in the North Carolina State game, like, they showed up to play. And that concerns me. I've been off SMU all season, so I don't plan on jumping on today. And the game's on CW. No thanks. The CW curse.
I'd have to lean Wake Forest plus the 3.5, if anything.
Whoa.
This is a fun game. We got Kansas State taking on Kansas. This is 11 a.m. TNT. Kansas is a 3-point favorite, and the over-under is 56.5. What are your initial thoughts in K-State versus Kansas? This seems to be a rivalry that has been pretty dominated by Kansas State lately, but Kansas has resurged as a football program the last few years, so they've definitely made it more interesting.
Yeah, how about 8 straight wins at Kansas for Kansas State, straight up. And the favorite in this matchup is 20-8 against the spread. The favorite, 20-8. So when they win, they just cover. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what a Jekyll and Hyde season from Kansas State. Team that, one of us was high on, me. These SU teams, man, LSU, KSU. I got to watch myself. These state universities.
Like
But,
Ohio.
oh no, except for them. They're the exception to the rule.
Oh, okay.
I mean, no, I mean, Avery Johnson, for as bad as he's looked, 11 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, still being able to produce, some positivity the last couple weeks. Man, a impressive win over TCU and a heartbreaking loss to Baylor. And so they're coming off a bye week. I think they win this game outright. I think Kansas State has the dudes that they're just going to finish this season strong and play spoiler to a rival.
Is Dylan Edwards out again?
It's a great question.
He didn't play. He didn't play against TCU 2 weeks ago. So just curious. I like Kansas in this game. Your stat about home teams being 20-8 against the spread is interesting.
No, favorites.
Or favorites, yeah, which Kansas is in this game. I thought that was interesting. And I also think it's interesting that K-State has won 8 times in a row at Kansas. And now, this year, at least, Kansas has been the more impressive team overall. They're at home with a brand new stadium. This is the time. This is the time for this program to break the losing streak and to beat their rival, Kansas, for sure.
Head to head. Head to head. Battle of the boys.
Yep.
Is it possible to have a look ahead spot when you're dog shit? Kansas
No.
State hosts Texas Tech next week?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Just making sure.
All right. Moving on. Anything else in that game?
Nope. All set.
All right. Iowa, big win against Penn State last weekend. They remain at home, taking on a Minnesota team who just beat Nebraska as a 7-point underdog. Iowa, yeah, right. Iowa laying 8.5. Over-unders 39.5. 2:30 p.m. Central, CBS. You can take this one.
One of these teams will be bowl eligible at the conclusion of this game. Both 5-2, 3-1 conference play. Can you believe that? Both these teams very alive for the Big Ten championship.
Wow.
Iowa very live on our plus 800 ticket to make the playoff. Boy, that feels good. Thank you, Penn State, for really shitting the bed. Look, I think Minnesota, I think people are going to see that Minnesota game against Nebraska and not realize how bad Nebraska is. I watched a terrible football team with no life show up to the road. They might as well just forfeited the game. Offensive line is horrific. And they're going to say, well, let's take Minnesota. Like, they're clearly starting to find something. Their offense is still dog shit with the rush. Like, they cannot establish the run at all. Drake Lindsey's, starting to find a little bit of something. Gronowski back fully healthy. I thought it was pretty impressive last week versus Penn State. I think we get crazy and we take an Iowa over in this game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Game total or team total?
Game total.
Dude, why not just lay it with Iowa?
I'm just worried about backdoor situations.
I mean, they definitely should be in a teaser leg.
Oh, what? Yeah, to -1 or 2.
Right. Iowa's team total, if you're interested, on Hard Rock, woohoo, juice to minus 140, the over 23.5.
Okay. Let's see. I take it back. Iowa scored 41, 2, 3, 4 times. They've gone over this number, 39.5. So 4 and
The
4
only,
to that number.
the only thing that makes me concerned about laying the points in this game is that it's a rivalry game, and these two teams typically play each other pretty close.
I actually take that back. Iowa's 113th in the country in plays per game. Minnesota's 107th. Complete 180.
Okay.
Just right live on air. We're going under 39.5.
All right. All right. Let's see what these last couple of games have looked like between these two squads, if I'm just making shit up or if I'm onto something. Last year, Iowa won 31-14.
Over.
The year before that, Minnesota won 12-10. Year before that, Iowa won 13-10. Year before that, Iowa won 27-22.
Whoa, big over.
So I don't know. I agree with your points though. Like, you watched a lot of that Nebraska Minnesota game, it seems like, and it sounds like you're not too convinced that Minnesota is like, this decent football team. Now, meanwhile, when you look at Iowa's results, I mean, dude, they damn near beat Indiana. Like this team is rolling right now, I think.
True. Just a creepy number, 8.5.
It is. All right. 3 p.m. Central, ESPN2. We got Baylor taking on Brendan Sorsby and the Cincinnati Bearcats. That's right, the very live Cincinnati Bearcats. They're a 4.5-point favorite at home. Over under in this game, 67.5. What do you think, Baylor at Cincinnati?
Man, feel like it's been a pretty popular dog pick, Baylor. And how can you not? I kind of really like the over 67.5. It's a crazy number. But these two teams, let's just say they prefer not to answer when asked what defense they'll be playing this week. So I look towards the over. I'm just worried about this line has come down last couple days from 5.5 to 4.5, and 69% of the bets are on the Baylor Bears spread, and over 90% of the money. So you know me, I like to be a little contrarian. So just over that key number of 3. Baylor has disappointed us time in and time out this season. So
Yep.
Both of these offenses are well-oiled machines. Let's talk about actual numbers. When we look at Baylor and Sawyer Robertson, every week is just like a new damn record-setting week. But Cincinnati's had better offensive success, as crazy as that sounds. But both teams' defensive success, T84 and 91, respectively, in the country. So that's a total that is earned. Gosh, help me land the plane here, Alex. I'm not sure where to go.
That's fair. Yeah, it just feels like one of those games where you feel like Cincinnati might trip on their own feet, where they've been winning a lot of games, and this might be the spot where they, unfortunately drop one. But I don't believe in Baylor. They suck. So I lean Cincinnati.
Just think, Cincinnati, Iowa State was 38-30, and that covers the hook. Like, barely gets us there.
Yeah. Anything else?
Nope, good there.
All right. And then we got Houston taking on Arizona State. Arizona State at home, laying 7.5. Over under is 46.5, 7 p.m. Central, ESPN2. What a win for Arizona State last week, huh? Did you see, man, I fucking hate field storming so much. I know I'm such a boomer with that take. Court stormings, field stormings, I hate it all. Did you see that goalpost come down?
Yeah, yeah.
Holy fuck, dude.
That was crazy.
If for those that didn't see, when Arizona State beat Texas Tech last week on the very final play, the crowd immediately rushed the field, and like literally the goalpost came down like 5 seconds after the play ended, and it came down at full speed, and it miraculously didn't hit a single player or student on the field. This big goalpost just fell down. Crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. You know what's crazier, Alex, is that these teams haven't met since 1990, and guess where they played?
The Astrodome.
Close. The Japan Dome. It was in Tokyo.
Ooh.
So just a fun, irrelevant stat to this game. Houston really ripped my heart out last week. I was on Arizona -1. I thought that was a very great play. Arizona goes up 14 early, and Houston comes back and wins. And how about 6-1 Houston? Completely flying under the radar.
It's a very impressive season.
Must
Must be that new training facility they opened up this year.
Has to be. They're already over their season win total. Arizona State, I mean, like I said, that was in my underdog parlay. All over it with Sam Levitt coming back healthy. It's just a game that Texas Tech was not tested yet this season. Arizona State defending Big 12 champs. Just returned too many players on a good team to be a over touchdown dog at home. So, yeah, that was good to see that come through. Houston's still running a stout defense, although Arizona was able to score a little bit. But where the hell did Houston's offense come from last week? Like, that was a little surprising to me. Like 31-28. The last week, Oklahoma State doesn't count. But this number's just I don't know. Too big for such a short total. Like, I think Arizona State's going to come back down to earth a little bit. And I think this is a one-score game.
Okay. Yeah, no real thoughts. I just wonder if Arizona State is back. Like, is this the start? It was last week the start of their college football playoff run.
See, that could also be true. That could definitely be true. And that's why it's kind of a stay away.
Yep.
All right, one more slate to get through real quick here. And then we'll head home with some parlays.
All right. Week 9 SICKO slate. We'll start in the Big Ten, where we have my Northwestern Wildcats, winners of 3 straight, taking on Nebraska in Lincoln. Nebraska's laying 7.5 points. The over-under is 43.5, 11 a.m. Central. FS1. Based on what I've seen from Northwestern over the last few weeks, wins over UCLA, Penn State, Purdue, and Nebraska, especially with your comments about their offensive line and just how gross they looked last week, I'd have to go Northwestern plus 7.5 in this game, and I would lean the under.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I told you at the beginning of the season this Northwestern Nebraska game, the winner is bowl eligible, I mean, you'd think that I was just an internet troll. It's insane. Both these teams are 5-2 at this point in the season.
Yeah.
More or less Northwestern than Nebraska, but yeah, is Rule just checked out, ready to go to Penn State? That's where I'm very concerned. Also concerned that Nebraska's weakest point is against any sort of havoc or rush, and Northwestern just doesn't really have that. Nothing really impressive on the lines. So getting back home, man, I think it's a plug your nose. And man, I can't believe I'm saying this. Take Nebraska again. After I was on them the same exact number last week against Minnesota.
I can't say I blame you. Like they are back at home, and if you told me that this game's going to be Nebraska 20, Northwestern 10, like I wouldn't be shocked. So I hear you. Did you know Matt Rule has not beat a ranked opponent since he was the head coach at Temple?
What? Not at Baylor when they were like undefeated?
Correct.
Interesting. Interesting.
And now this guy is going to get the Penn State job, and he hasn't beaten a ranked opponent in 12 years. Oh yeah, and did you know he flamed out as the head coach of the Panthers? Do we all forget about that?
Who hasn't, right?
Ta-ting. All right, UCLA going on the road, taking on Indiana. 25.5 is your point spread, over under 54.5, 11 a.m. Central Fox. Look, I love Indiana as much as the next guy, but when I first saw this spread, I actually checked to see if like Nico was hurt or something, because I thought this was a little rich based on the way UCLA has played the last few weeks. What do you think?
I mean, they came back to earth last week at home. So, I mean, I know you didn't watch a second of that game, but they just could not move the ball. It was horrific. They like couldn't run the ball, couldn't get anything going against a very suspect Maryland team. So the fact they won is pretty miraculous. Thought that was pretty funny that the streak continues there. Also pretty funny that how big is that Northwestern win now over UCLA? Or UCLA would be 4-0 in the Big Ten after that start in firing Raheem Morris, or not Raheem Morris, uh, Foster. Raheem Morris, Atlanta Falcons head coach. um, yeah, this is the epitome of the sicko slate. Like betting on this game, like UCLA could pull another leprechaun out of their ass with Neuheisel just calling the game of his life. And this is a one-score game in the fourth quarter. But could you also see Indiana 52, UCLA 10?
Yes, after Indiana beat Illinois 63-10, I don't put anything past them. It just seems like a little too many points, in my opinion, for a UCLA team that's just played a lot better than what they started the year with.
Yeah, I mean, their weakness is against the pass, and they can compete against the run, or reverse that. They're good at running the ball on offense, but bad at stopping the ball on defense against the run. They can
Yeah.
compete a little bit, but pretty middle of the road when it comes to defending the pass. Yeah, stay away, run away.
Last week kind of felt like a sleepy spot for Indiana against Michigan State, and they ended up not covering that spread on that late field goal. And let's see, now they got UCLA at home next week at Maryland. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, nothing.
All right. Moving on, we have Auburn taking on Arkansas, and Arkansas is laying 1.5 in this game. Over under 57.5, 11:45 a.m. Central. SEC Network. Yuck. Talk to me.
Hugh Freeze, do you want your job? Or are you ready to get out of there? I mean, Auburn's been the unluckiest team in college football, really. A couple bad calls and an overtime win away from being like the number 12 team in the country, really.
Yeah, and McPherson can't make a kick anymore.
Correct. Arkansas's defense is so bad. This has to be a get right spot for Auburn. And I was shocked that the number was this low. So I this is a smash Auburn spot for me.
All right. Yeah, I wasn't coming into this game with any huge thoughts, but you kind of convinced me just with that alone. Yeah. All right. Keeping it in the SEC. Bama taking on South Carolina. Bama laying 12.5, over under 47.5, 2:30 p.m. Central ABC. I mean, I like Bama. And I even think it's a good spot for South Carolina. I mean, off an embarrassing home loss, another home game, Bama coming off a big win at home against Tennessee. But I watched South Carolina last week, and unless they're bringing in new players, they're in trouble. Alabama, lay it.
Yeah, I mean, big time. How is this number still under 2 touchdowns? I mean, they just got mollywopped by a team that doesn't have an offense in Oklahoma, and they got smashed by Vanderbilt. Same. So you're talking about common opponents. Alabama beat Vanderbilt. Vandy smashed South Carolina. This is a must-play spot for Bama minus 12.5. Get it before 14.
Yep, totally agree. ACC in the town that I will be in this weekend. Black and yellow, black and yellow. NC State. You like that? NC State traveling
Mayor
to
Khalifa.
taking on Pitt. Did you say Mayor or Mia?
I said Mayor, you freak.
Pitt laying 6.5 points. Look, I like her because of her other endeavors. Over under 56.5, 2:30 p.m. Central, ACC Network.
Yeah, she's an incredible fantasy football expert. Great Twitter personality for sure. Props to her. Dude, I'm fully back on board with my boys, the Pitt Panthers. The fact you're going to be not in attendance, but in the same city. Last time we saw NC State, they were getting demolished by Notre Dame. That team is I think they've been found out when it comes to defensive coordinators, and I've talked about it all season. Pitt is just a low-key good defense. They're 2 bad plays away from being undefeated, and 5-2, 3-1 in conference. I think they get back, get right here under a touchdown spread. I'll take them.
Okay. Yeah. No real thoughts really. I guess the counterpoint would be Pitt still got the freshman quarterback going. Is that correct? And NC State coming off a bye. Maybe they're motivated and ready to go.
Yeah,
now,
Heinzel's great.
Yep.
He's a Northwest Ohio guy.
Oh, let's go.
68% completion. I mean, the kid has been just unbothered by taking over this role.
Mm-hmm. Lots of poise. Toledo, your squad, taking on Washington State, as we mentioned. Washington State laying 1.5 over under 47.5. 2:30 p.m. Central, 11:30 a.m. local time. Sorry, 12:30 p.m. local time on the CW.
Said it at the top of the show. One of the best statistically playing defenses in the entire country. Your Toledo Rockets. Playing one of the worst offenses in the entire country. The problem is they play in the MAC and they get the benefit of playing some of the worst offenses in the entire country every single week. And that doesn't seem to stop them from losing time to time. And now you're telling me you got to go out to Washington State. I know Washington State's also coming out as well after back-to-back weeks on the East Coast. I just think this Washington State team, who's consisting of all FCS team of the South Dakota State team and that coach, I think they're finally starting to kind of gel, as we've seen the last couple weeks against good teams. I've seen this way too often. I mean, this is a hammer spot for Washington State.
Whoa. All right.
Hammer spot.
Say
and
less.
This will lose us our season total of Ohio or of Toledo over 8.5 wins. So just really twist that knife.
Damn. So is Washington State going to be on your card?
I think they will, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the first time ever.
Who, fading Toledo or Washington State?
Like fading Toledo to lose outright. Like I've picked their opposition to cover, but I don't think I've ever picked a team to on their money line.
Whew. Wow.
So maybe that's a 5-unit max play whale bomb.
Ooh.
I mean,
Okay.
everything Washington State shows is so pitiful and bad, but like you have to also take the numbers you look at with a grain of salt. Like teams get better. Like you got to throw out that 59-10 loss to North Texas. Like they're clearly better than that team the last couple weeks. Like that's how football works. Like you got to progress through the season.
100%. For sure. All right. Here's an interesting game. Kinda. SEC. Texas. Another road game. Last week, it was Kentucky. This week, it's Mississippi State. Texas is laying 7. Over-unders 44.5. The 3:15 p.m. Central SEC network. What do you think?
I just think it's crazy, like the fall off of Texas. Like last week, they were tied with Kentucky and they went to overtime, and like that game was like not even on the radar. And I feel like Alex, we might be in for the same style of game. Like there's just like LSU, there's no pulling magic out of the hat of Texas's offense.
Correct.
They're just solidified ass
Yep.
is what they are. But their defense still is elite. Can the defense I mean, I think those cowbells will enrage the defense enough to just win without a single offensive point. So I kind of like the under 44.5 here.
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing else to add. It's just a game that I'd love to bet Texas -7, but don't trust their offense, not one bit. I guess my question to you would be, and it's okay if you don't have an answer, Kentucky's defense versus Mississippi State's defense. Can Texas maybe get right a little bit against Mississippi State's defense, or no?
No, I'd say pretty similar actually when we look at defensive matchups. So it's also, again, the conclusion. This is now the conclusion of Texas has been away from home for 4 weeks in a row. So you have to wonder if that's really starting to rag on the team. You put a big win in there with Red River Rivalry. They've won last. They ended up winning that game. Felt like a game that would have sidelined their season, but I don't know. Stay away from the side.
Speaking of Mississippi State, did you happen to see how they lost the game against Florida last week?
Yes, dude. Holy shit.
300 and whatever pound defensive lineman drops into coverage and makes the most stunning interception you've seen since BJ Raji.
I mean, big boy got hands.
He really does. That was something.
Stunning.
And then the final one, SICKO SLATE on this card. How could we go the pod without not mentioning this game? Michigan taking on their rival, Michigan State. And Michigan State is a 14-point underdog at home. 47.5 is the total. 6:30 p.m. Central NBC. When I first saw this line, for as poor as Michigan State has played this year, my lean was Michigan State plus the points. I don't think Michigan has been overly impressive this year to be laying that amount of points in a rivalry game, especially against a Michigan State team that this truly is their Super Bowl this year because they're struggling. So yeah, lean Michigan State was my gut reaction.
Well, they got to be healthy first. So if they can get healthy, yeah, they have the opportunity to shut down some rush yards. But Alex, who's going to be throwing the ball?
It's a good question.
Is it Milojevic? Childs, please. I mean, getting dismantled by UCLA. I mean, you're right. It all comes down to one game. Wow, they've weirdly lost the same exact score back-to-back weeks, 38-13. Oh, and gave up 38 to Nebraska. What the weird? That's a weird just stat there.
Charles's
Anyway,
QBR last week was 94.9.
okay.
Did he
Okay.
get hurt? Did he get hurt at the end of the game? I missed that.
No, I just talking about 2 weeks ago when he got pulled.
Oh no, he's going to be the guy.
Okay. I don't know. I've got my mother in town. Last time she was in town for Michigan State, I believe Michigan won 49-7. So
Yeah, the year they won the Natty, right?
allegedly, yes.
Allegedly. That team was very, very good. This Michigan team is not very, very good. They're good, but they're not that good.
Their defense is starting to click a little bit. Yeah, they were just kind of stalling, like in a stall pattern. It was one of the worst games to watch in the quad box. That Washington Michigan game last week. Yeah, I don't know. Stay away from me. Except one of these teams might be on my card for the underdog parlay.
All right. Hell yeah.
Have any other games that piqued your interest? This is a heavier bye week slate, so a little bit of less action for this week.
I'll just take a quick look if you don't mind. I know you're on a time crunch.
Yeah, I guess the only other game that really would matter would be Oregon, Wisconsin.
Oh, God. No, we don't need to talk about that game.
Colorado, Utah.
Yeah. That's a better game than the other one you mentioned.
2-touchdown spread for Utah at home. I like Colorado's defense. I think that's too many points. I haven't liked this Utah team all year. Not a fan.
Can't throw the ball, man. Can't pass the ball down the field. Really weird stuff.
Forgot to pick this with you. I brought this up before you hopped on. Stanford at Miami. To conclude our pod last week, you talked me off Stanford and Florida State.
Did I?
Stanford wins outright.
Yes, sure did.
Although it was a very cheap shot that knocked Castellanos out, that would have tied the game. Possibly won. Not sour grapes at all. Didn't chase them at any point in that game. That was like my first true chase of the season, and I just forgot how fucking infuriating chasing is in that last game.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stanford goes to Miami now after that huge win against Florida State. That should be in Miami, an extra day rest and just a pissed off Miami. That should be a pick a number and lay it with Miami.
What do you think of Tennessee, Kentucky? That would be the other one that we didn't cover. Spread's 9.5. Over under 54.5.
Tennessee has explosive offense. Kentucky can't score. I think Tennessee should cover that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. So for any sort of plays, let's see. What do I have here up my sleeve? I've got our teaser. So this week's teaser, yeah. Hey, if you lose one leg, it's the same as losing 5 legs. So even though we lost 5 legs last week, it only counts settled as lost one time. So this is a complete reset. I like USF Memphis in the over. Not enough points. 63.5 down to 57. Minnesota at Iowa. Give me Minnesota up to plus 16. And then Virginia and North Carolina. Time to bury North Carolina. This Virginia team is too good. They'll be there till the end. I like Chandler Morris, what he's doing. So -4 to Virginia.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with Kansas State after I just talked about how I like Kansas laying the points. I think we're going to have to flip that on the graphic.
You're going across again?
Can we do that?
Sure.
Is that allowed? Let's
Sure.
go. Let's go Kansas plus the points.
Great.
And then my other two
How
picks.
about we
I'm
just
going.
pick a different game? Can we pick another game before Friday?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Let's do that instead.
All right.
I know you can find another winner on the board.
We'll tease Michigan State from 14.5 to 21. Those fuckers better not let us down. That's a lot of points.
So many. And yet so little.
Right. It could be little, depending on game script. And Bama, tease them down to -6 against South Carolina. Already talked about that.
That's a great one. I like that one a lot.
Thank you.
As for my underdog parlay, 4 legs again, 116 to 1 this time around.
Ooh.
Oh, that's last week's. This week, Illinois out in Washington, Akron at Buffalo, Michigan State, and LSU. Pays 116 to 1. $100 pays $10,000.
It sure does. It's a good parlay. It has a shot.
Does it? Michigan State is I'd round robin that 3 ways. So when the other 3 hit and Michigan State loses by 50, we can at least still make some money.
I think it has a shot. I think even the Spartans might beat Michigan.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick because that'd be closer to our win total, which, by the way, should have revisited that. We're trending pretty well. So we'll talk about that next week. Our Vanderbilt bet already covered last week. That was plus money, 6 wins. Wow.
What a bet.
And both of our biggest futures in the win total markets is Oklahoma over 7.5 wins. And that starts this week, Alex, because they've got Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, LSU, and Missouri. Oh, Texas A&M. Texas A&M. So right now, 5 of the top 17 teams on their schedule remaining.
Yeah, I'm concerned. The offense needs to be a little bit more consistent, a little bit better.
I agree. Anything early card that jumped out to you that you've already placed a bet on?
No, not at this time. I mean, I know I talked about liking Bama. I'll probably be on them. I talked about liking Kansas against Kansas State. I'll probably be on them. And there was a couple more that we talked about that I'll be on, but I'd have to go back and look.
Okay, great. Obviously, I have my Mac card that I like that we covered earlier, like Washington State over Toledo. Just trust me. Seen it too many times. Too many times, folks. I'm already on Vanderbilt money line again. I got him at -135 on Monday, up to -142. I like it under that key number. I like Bama, just like Mayor said. I like Oklahoma -4.5, and I like the under 54.5. I will lay it with Nebraska -7.5, and then Kansas State over USF Memphis, which is already down to 62.5. That's weather pending now. I'm seeing that line move. Weather pending, and hammer Auburn money line +1.5. Whatever you want to do. Can't believe we didn't talk about UConn Rice. UConn was a huge win for me, -1 last week against Boston College. Fuck the Sharps. Fuck everyone. That was another huge sharp me play. And then also give me Illinois with the points.
Nice. How about Washington State?
I already said that off the top. I said, trust me. Seen it too many times. Washington State.
Apologies.
Don't let it fucking happen again, Fade God.
You got it.
Now, we're coming in hot this week. So many fucking W's on the card. So many check marks. You guys won't even know what to do with all the winnings.
Hope so. Let's fucking go. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Good luck, everyone.
All right, goodbye. Love you. Listen on Friday, please.